Oh, you're listening to BVZ Radio, the voice of Barron. A lot of technical difficulties today, but that's okay, because we've got my good buddy Marcel. My levels are too high. My friend is informing me that my levels are too high. I just have a deep, sexy voice. So we're just going to turn my mic down. This is my first show, in case you couldn't tell. My name's Ryan Maloney. I am thrilled to be here with you people right now. Let's see if we can't get Mr. Marcello back online.
Hello, Ryan. Can you hear me?
Mr. Marcel, let me see if I can't turn you up for a bit. Marcel.
Okay. Yes.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Fantastic. Okay. So how are you doing, Marcel?
I'm doing well, Ryan. Apparently much better than you. You must be sweating bullets.
Oh, God, you have no idea, man. Show business. That's what it is.
Yep, that's what it is.
It's such a fun time, I just, there's at least 2 monitors around me. There's microphones. There's phones. I've got a nice little piece of paper in front of me of things I want to say and no means to say them. It's great. I love it.
I mean, hey, it's your first show.
It is my first show.
I'm sure the audience can cut you some slack.
I sincerely hope they do. In case you just tuned in, you're listening to the Retro Rush Hour with me, Ryan Maloney, and Marcelo Loeb on BVZ Radio, the voice of Barron. The theme we picked out today for our playlist is driving songs. Me and Marcel collaborated on this really, really awesome playlist. I don't even know if we're going to be able to play half of these songs now because of these technical difficulties, but let's try it anyway. So, we are going to start out with, I'm gonna cut you off here, Marcel, but you'll still be on with me. But This is a tune that I think you'll all be familiar with. Oh yes, Tom Cochrane, Life is a Highway. It's BVZ Radio, the voice of Barron, your Retro Rush Hour, with me, Ryan Maloney. Keep listening. You're listening to BVZ Radio, the voice of Barron. That's Sweet Emotion by Aerosmith. Such a good song. I'm here with Mr. Marcelo Loeb. How are you, sir?
I'm great, Ryan. How about you? Thanks for inviting me onto the show.
Absolutely. Anytime. I wanted to have you on first because you are the music expert of my friends. Marcel knows so much about music. Like, it is just, I came to him, I was saying, I have this show, I'm calling it the Retro Rush Hour. I want to do these driving songs. I want to do this list, this big long playlist of songs that people associate with driving. So, what do I add? And I listed off all the ones that I had already listed, and he was like, well, you're missing some things. And he just came in with, like, all of these great songs, and I was like, wow, I can't believe I missed some of these things. Like, we probably won't get a chance to play them all today, but, hopefully I can put the playlist online or something. But, it's a great playlist. Like, you really came through for me, man.
Oh, well, I try my best, Ryan.
And I think one of the things we were talking about was including Crazy Train on there. And I think, you suggested that, didn't you?
I did, but I think it was a little too stereotypical.
Yeah.
Everybody's heard Crazy Train. I mean, do you really want to hear it again?
Exactly. That's the thing. Like, I would play any other, like, don't get me wrong, I love Ozzy Osbourne, love Black Sabbath.
Yes.
But,
yes.
I mean, that song is so overplayed. You cannot go to a sporting event in this country without hearing Crazy Train, or really turn on the radio without hearing Crazy Train. So, it's just,
Yes.
yeah. And I think, weren't we before, like, talking about Black Sabbath and stuff like that, like Ozzy's solo career and everything? Didn't we? Or, no, I mentioned to you the new album, the new Black Sabbath album, 13, right?
Yes.
I cannot stop listening to that song, God Is Dead. That is fantastic. I mean, I just, it's uncanny how he sounds. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of, like, studio manipulation and stuff like that with how he sounds in that album, but he sounds the same. It's so weird.
Oh, well, I haven't listened to it, but I will.
I thought you said you listened to it.
No, I never got around to do it. I mean,
Oh.
no, I'm kind of ashamed because I'm more of a metalhead than most other genres.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I went off on my little tirade there. I thought we'd have something to talk about, and here I am just talking to myself about things that I've experienced and you haven't. That's great.
Hey, I mean, it's your show, so I will go ahead and nod. Right? Nod yes.
Yes.
You won't be able to see it, but go ahead.
Oh, good. I'm glad. In case you just tuned in, you're listening to BBZ Radio, the voice of Barron. I'm Ryan Maloney, here with Marcelo Loeb, my good friend. I will never mispronounce your last name again, sir. I won't do it. I swear to you.
Well, good luck with that. I mean, so many people have fallen into the trap of just saying Loeb, but good for you, Ryan. Good for you.
Yeah, I try. All right, I'm gonna get our next song queued up. Are you familiar with the game Crazy Taxi, Marcel?
Yes, I'm vaguely familiar with it. Yes.
Good. Then you'll love this next song. Any Crazy Taxi fans will recognize this song, or if you're an Offspring fan, and which I have a friend who's a big fan, but I'm a fan as well because I love Crazy Taxi. And you cannot think of Crazy Taxi. I'm going to unhook you here, Marcel. But you cannot think of Crazy Taxi without listening to this song from The Offspring. It's All I Want on BBZ Radio, the voice of Barron. Okay. Yeah. Hey, you're listening to BBZ. Hello? You're listening to BBZ Radio, the voice of Barron. Sorry about that dead silence. You're listening to BBZ Radio, the voice of Barron. I'm Ryan Maloney. I'm here with Marcelo Loeb, my good friend, and this is your Retro Rush Hour on BBZ Radio, the voice of Barron, emphasizing the wrong words since 2014. How are we doing again, Marcel?
Chaos of this program already.
I'm sorry, I completely missed all of that because your thing wasn't on. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm enjoying the chaos of this program already.
Oh, it's such a struggle, man. God.
No.
There's so many switches and dials and things.
I can't imagine.
I'll get it eventually.
Yes, practice makes perfect.
It really does. So we were just talking during the break about your little incident with the parking attendant, and seeing as how I completely butchered your name earlier before when we weren't on the air, why don't you share that story about how this parking attendant lady, who may or may not still work here, Marcel is a former student in case you just turned in. He's 1 year graduated, 1 year removed from the college scene. And when he came up here, when was this, Marcel? You tell the story. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I believe it was probably either September or October. I came up here I think it was just to hang out with you and Abel and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, meet some of the faculty, just keep a face around campus, still be a big man on campus, I'm sure. And I go to the parking pass, a temporary parking pass, and I've always had the darndest time, like, whenever anyone asks my name and they have to write it down on anything, they've always had trouble, right? But never once have I ever heard someone butcher my name, right? It's Marcelo, Marcelo, 1L, and my last name is Loeb, Lob, right? This one time, right, I'm like, okay, my name is Marcelo Loeb. And she's like, how many L's is that? And then I'm like, just one. And I don't know if she just gave up halfway through writing, my name on the pass, but it turns out she wrote Marcelo it's one word. No first and last name, just one word. Marcellop. And the worst part is that you have to show them your driver's license. She couldn't just read off of that. No, she had to take my word for it, I guess. So, never has anyone ever butchered my name, and I'm not horribly mad about it. It's just funny. It's one of the funny things of life, I guess.
It really is. I just love it. Like, that's just one word, one name, Marcellop or Marcellope. We don't know what it is or what it means or, oh man, it's just funny.
Okay, that's why when anyone asks my name, like, especially when you go to some place like Taco Bell or like Starbucks where they ask you, like, can I have a name for this order? I just pick a simple name, like Rick.
Yeah.
Or Bob, or whatever. It's something people can remember. It's something simple, and it's easy to pronounce.
But that's the thing. It's not like Marcel Loeb. It's pretty. There's a pretty cut and dry thing there. Like, it's not. I don't know if it's a biblical name. Well, no, probably not a biblical name. But like, it's a pretty common name.
No, it's not a common name.
Yes, it is. Marceau had that name, and he was a very famous mime.
He was a French mime. French. No, actually, I think I've only met one other Marcelo in America, but if you go to any South American country, Marcelo is as common as, like, John.
Okay.
It's really common, so my name might as well just be John here. So.
And Marcel Proust, or is it Proust? Proust, the author, the dude who wrote all those really, really long novels.
Who?
I don't. All my knowledge of sophisticated culture comes from Monty Python, so I really couldn't tell you any more than that.
Well, that's great.
On that note, we're going to transition into our next song here. This is one of my personal favorites, and I know it is yours, Marcel, too.
Pretty good, Ryan.
Let's see, what do we got? Okay. Hey, it's Van Halen.
Okay, good.
Yes, right? So, here we go. Let's see if we can't get this up here. Get it working. Come on, here we go. Running with the Devil, Van Halen. You're listening to the Retro Rush Hour on BVZ Radio, the voice of Baron. That's Huey Lewis in the News. It's BVZ Radio, the voice of Barron. That's Huey Lewis in the News, the power of love. I'm Ryan Maloney. This is your Retro Rush Hour on BVZ Radio, the voice of Barron. I'm here with my good friend, Mr. Marcel. How you doing, sir?
I'm still doing well, Ryan. How about you?
I'm just going to keep asking you that just because it's a good way of transitioning. I hope you don't mind.
I don't mind as long as the audience, all five of them.
Yeah, right. They're all just so mad because, well, Marcel told a lot of his friends that I was going to be doing my first show or whatever today. And we're going well past the time, but I want to get to everything. I'm going to fight for this show. And they're probably not happy with me because we spent so much time, messing around trying to figure things out. But that's show business, and I love it. So, yes, we just got done playing Power of Love, Huey Lewis in the News. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I hear that song, I always think of Back to the Future, the scene where Marty McFly is, I'm late for school, and he's on the, skateboard, like hopping back and forth between trucks and waving at girls in dance clubs. And, obviously I'm a pretty, sadly, pretty big movie fan. And me and Marcel were actually talking last night about one movie in particular. Well, two movies actually. What was it? Ender's Game. Ender's Game. We were talking, yeah, and then we were talking about After Earth too. But Ender's Game. I really liked this movie because I read the book in middle school, and I don't know. I enjoyed it. But tell me your thoughts on it, Marcel, because I know you watched the last 30 minutes of it, and you were slightly less enthused than I was.
Yes, well, I think I was looking at the movie in a different light, right? You saw the rebellion of Ender, and, as Ender was, being brought up in this military kind of like culture thing and then rebelling against them, I saw it as a bunch of kids controlling pretty much the fate of humanity against insects. and for the entire 30 minutes, I only saw 3 adults on the ship. I mean, who is supervising these kids who are controlling the fate of humanity? I mean, is this not a red flag to everyone? But apparently, it's more, talked about in the beginning of the movie, which I probably should have watched.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can definitely understand your point of view, because it is like you come in and it's just like, oh, okay, there's these kids, and here's Harrison Ford and Bugs.
Bugs.
So
I don't know why the bugs are bad. I think they were just keeping to themselves, but
they were. Spoilers, but they were just keeping to themselves, which was the whole point. They I don't remember all the details, and I don't want to spoil the movie for people who haven't listened. All two of you who are listening or haven't seen it, but yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was. I don't think it's a great movie by any means, but I would say, I mean, if you felt so passionate, this is what I told Marcel last night. I said if you felt so passionate about the ending, then you probably wouldn't enjoy the first hour and a half.
Well, I don't know. I might have to take a look now.
Just
to verify,
just to challenge me.
Are correct.
Just to spite me.
Yes, just to spite you.
And then the other movie we were talking about was After Earth. And for a long time, ever since that movie came out, like I saw it, I was like, hey, that's pretty good. Like, it's directed by M. Night Shyamalan, who you might remember from great movies like The Sixth Sense, and then terrible movies like The Happening, which starred Marky Mark, sans Funky Bunch, and and they run away from the wind in The Happening, which makes perfect sense. Running away from the wind.
Yeah, wouldn't you?
Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, it's wind. I mean, I just run every time because clearly the Earth is taking it back.
Of course.
Taking itself back. So yeah, I mean, but like, so I've always been kind of like skeptical about M. Night Shyamalan, but I mean, I saw After Earth and I was like, you know what, that was a decent sci-fi movie. It wasn't great, but you know, I can appreciate what they were going for. I can appreciate, you know, all the stuff that they were doing. I liked the visuals. I liked Will Smith. I thought it was, I guess, in the sort of Avatar-esque vein of like, this is another planet, like. You know, I bought it. I bought it because it was very, you know, kind of otherworldly. And it was only after I saw it that, like, people started, and, like, critics and people started coming in and being like, M. Night Shyamalan sucks. This movie sucks. I was like, whoa, it's not that bad. And they were, like, just basically tearing it apart, like, all these little holes. And, like, I for a while, I know you and our mutual friend Abel about, you know, seeing that, because I know you guys are a bit more open-minded than a lot of other people when it comes to M. Night Shyamalan. And I know you saw it, and you weren't as, we'll say, vehemently opposed to After Earth as you were Ender's Game. But, you know, I understand you had some issues with a lot of the biological things that were going on.
Well, I mean, you know, I have 3 points, right? 3 strikes, and, you know, this movie is out for me. First of all, and you know, as much as I don't want to get all too biology on everyone here, right? Will Smith, kind of like in the beginning of the movie, you know, as soon as they hit Earth, they're like, oh, everything's here designed to kill humans, and you know, has evolved to, you know, kill humans. It's not really how evolution works. I mean, in order for that to happen, there needs to be humans on Earth to, you know, allow the other creatures to evolve to, you know, kill them. So there's strike 1. Strike 2 is that, at night the Earth freezes over, but magically it comes back to, you know, being warm. No, I don't think that would happen either, and that could be a multitude of reasons that I won't even go into. And then the third, and I think the most impacting thing about After Earth, is Jaden Smith himself, right? There's a scene, I can't even remember. He's like on top of a cliff, and there's waterfalls, and Will Smith is telling him, you know, just come back, you can't make it, and just Jaden Smith is like saying, I'm not afraid, and then he just jumps off a cliff, and just his acting just rips me right out of, you know, whatever story M. Night Shyamalan was trying to weave. I can't take his acting seriously, but that's just me. That is my opinion, and I'm going to stick to it.
Yes, and that's fair enough. Like, I don't, and that's why, like, I appreciate your opinion, because I could offer, like, a defense to that. I think Jaden Smith's a bit rough around the edges. I mean, kid's only 15 years old. Like, I would say, true. You know, I would argue personally that, like, it's hard for any child actor. Like, it's very rare to have, like, those child actors who are really, like, who can hold their own against, I mean, it's even, like, your father, Will Smith. Like, so I think that kind of, like, I don't know, I think the fact that was his real son, like, it just really, something really worked about their relationship to me. Like, it felt like a real, like, you know, passing of the torch kind of movie. Like, you know, here, I'm this big star, and, like, now you're this big star. And, like, I don't know, all these critics came back and was like, oh, that's nepotism. Like, he's just trying to, and I was like, I'm not feeling that. But I definitely, I see what you're saying, and I appreciate the fact that you went into that movie open-minded, like no one else did. Because,
well, what can you do?
Yeah, I don't know. But on that note, we are going to hit another song you might think of when you think of the movie Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I know you're not familiar with it, Marcel, but this is a great song. It's Moving in Stereo by The Cars. You're listening to BVZ Radio, the Retro Rush Hour, with me, Ryan Maloney. Moving in Stereo by The Cars. BVZ Radio, Voice of Barron. You're listening to BVZ Radio, the Voice of Barron. It's the Retro Rush Hour with me, Ryan Maloney, and my good friend Marcel. We still doing good, Marcel? Sorry, say that again. I forgot to turn your thing on. It's a good thing we're ending soon.
Oh yeah, I'm ready to end it. And you know what? I think this next song is going to be a good song to end with.
It is.
Go to sleep too.
Yes.
It's so peaceful.
It is. Sorry, I keep cutting you off. Go ahead.
I was going to say, why don't you announce what this next segment is?
So I'd like to introduce our very special segment on the Retro Rush Hour. I'd like this to become a thing. I'm pushing for it. It's the Obscure Song of the Day. Because we play all this mainstream stuff, and why not have something really obscure? So, this Marcel introduced me to this song. He was actually driving me home from our mutual friend Abel's house, and it was snowing really bad outside, and he said, Ryan, I need to play this song. I need to play this song right now, just to focus. It's his cathartic. I don't even know. The words fail me. But go ahead. Launch into your thing with this song, Marcel.
Well, I like to use this as my mantra when I'm driving and like when it's really snowing, like you can barely see the road, you're slipping and sliding. So today's obscure song of the day is a song called Contact by a jam band known as Phish. That's Phish. They also have that symbol with the, it kind of looks like the Jesus fish. How I heard of this song is that I heard from a professor, actually, from Barron, which I will go ahead and name him anonymous, but I will say that he does teach herpetology, which is the study of reptile and amphibians. And just random days, I would just go into his office, and if he wasn't doing anything important, I don't want to impose on anything, and we would talk about music, right? He was a drummer, I was a drummer, and we would just chat and stuff. He was really big in these jam bands, and if you don't know what a jam band is, it's a band that jams. Obviously, they just pretty much sit around, they play whatever they want, they try to mesh it into something. And it's really, really cool stuff that can come out of that stuff. So, I'm a very open-minded person. I listen from anything from Miles Davis, which is a jazz artist, all the way to Slayer, which is like a death metal band, if you didn't know that. So, when he showed me this song, I was appalled. Because it's so simple. And it's so catchy, isn't it, Ryan?
It really is. We cannot stop singing it, once it comes on. Oh, man.
It's a gigantic inside joke, right? And the person who wrote this was the guitarist of the band, and he wrote most of the lyrics to the first album, and he got, I would say, his influence from his mother, which was a writer for Sesame Street. So,
oh, I didn't know this.
Simple lyrics, yes. So that's why the lyrics of the song are so, I would say, simple, but it's weird. I don't know. There's probably some hidden philosophy behind it. It's pretty weird. It's psychedelic. I mean, I'm sure they were in so many drugs and stuff, but I don't know. I'll let the audience listen to the song, and they can make up your mind. And Ryan, I'll leave it right back to you.
Excellent, thank you. Yeah, so we are going to close on this song. It has been a thrill. Thank you so much, Marcel, for coming on and for helping me with my playlist and for putting up with my my BS. I just tried to get this thing together, for running over for I don't know how long, probably like 15 minutes over an hour. I don't know.
Oh, it's no problem whatsoever, Ryan. I'm happy, and whenever you want me on, I'm always available.
Yes, good. I'm so happy. All right, so I am going to throw it over back to the computer here, and we are going to put on Contact. So we're going to close on this song. Thank you guys so much for listening. We really appreciate your support. Follow me on Twitter at Retro Rush Hour. That's me, Ryan Maloney. That's who you've been listening to. This is the Retro Rush Hour, and you are on BVZ Radio, the voice of Baron. I'm going to leave you with Contact by Fish.